Jury instructions, just like you would get if you were in a jury here in Cass County or another county in America. Because I want you to step into a real life role here. And so I'm going to read to you most of the instructions, and then you will need to follow them as you decide on the verdict, which is on the back 2 pages of the verdict form that one of you has at your desk. Okay. State versus Richard Eugene Hickok and State versus Perry Edward Smith. Facts. On the night of November 15, 1959, Richard Eugene Hickok and Perry Edward Smith made their way to the farm of Herbert and Bonnie Clutter in rural Holcomb, Kansas, at which both Herbert and Bonnie were present, as well as their children, Nancy Clutter and Kenny Clutter. With the original intent of robbing a safe presumed to be in the Clutter home, Hickok and Smith entered the home and proceeded to locate the safe. When they could not locate the safe, they awakened Herbert Clutter to ascertain the location of the safe. When he denied the existence of any safe, they began to awaken Bonnie, Nancy, and Kenyon in order to obtain further information and success in locating the presumed safe. During the more than 2 hours present in the home, Hickok and Smith tied each victim individually in separate locations and did unlawfully, feloniously, willfully, and with deliberation and premeditation, and while being engaged in the perpetration of a felony, kill and take the life of Herbert W. Clutter, Bonnie Clutter, Nancy Clutter, and finally Kenyon Clutter. Hickok and Smith then exited the premises and were finally located on January 2nd, 1960. The state has charged Mr. Hickok with murder in the first degree on 4 counts. The state has entered on behalf of the defendant a plea of not guilty. The state has charged Mr. Smith with murder in the first degree on 4 counts. The state has entered on behalf of the defendant a plea of not guilty. So I'm going to run through most of the instructions and paraphrase some of them. Number 1, the trial information charges the defendant, Hickok and Smith, with the crime of murder in the first degree, 4 counts. Number 2, trial information is the document that formally charges the defendant with the crime. It is merely the method by which the defendants are brought into court, not evidence. Instruction number 3, the state has entered on behalf of the defendants a plea of not guilty. The pleas of not guilty are a complete denial of the charges and places the burden on the state to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Number 4, defendants are presumed innocent and not guilty. This presumption of innocence requires you to put aside all suspicion which might arise from the arrest, charge, or the present situation of the defendant. The presumption of innocence remains with the defendant throughout the trial unless the evidence establishes guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Number 5, you must determine the defendant's guilt or innocence from the evidence and the law in these instructions. Number 6, the duty of the jury is to determine if the defendants are guilty and not guilty. And here is a change. There's a couple changes here because of the fact that this isn't real life and because this is 2015. Normal jury instructions are in the event of a guilty verdict, you have nothing to do with punishment, but you will be deciding that punishment, that retribution, the sentencing. Instruction number 7, nothing I've said or done, being the judge, during the trial was intended to give any opinion as to the facts, truth, or what your verdict should be. So this is on you, your decisions as citizens. Number 8, the burden is on the state to prove the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. A reasonable doubt is one that fairly and naturally arises from the evidence or lack of evidence produced by the state. If after a full and fair consideration of all the evidence you are firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt, then you have no reasonable doubt and you should not find the defendant guilty. Should find the defendant guilty. But if after a full and fair consideration of all the evidence or lack of evidence produced by the state, you are not firmly convinced of the defendant's guilt, then you have a reasonable doubt, and you should find the defendant not guilty. Number 9, if there is reasonable doubt as to any crime, the defendant shall only be convicted for the crime which there is no reasonable doubt. Number 10, you must base your verdict upon the evidence and these instructions. And evidence is, and here there's a few changes because of our situation. Evidence is testimony in person by deposition, exhibits received by the court, but not the following. Statements, arguments, questions, or comments by the lawyers, but you have those because of reading the book. Objections and rulings on objections. Testimony I told you to disregard, being the judge. Anything you saw or heard about this case outside the courtroom. So you have all of that because of reading the book. So you're going to take those into consideration. Number 11, in deciding the facts, consider the evidence using your observations, common sense, and experience. So this is where you as citizens really use your heads, and that's why we have the jury system that we have. You must try to reconcile any conflicts in the evidence, but if you cannot, you will accept the evidence you find more believable. In determining the facts, you may have to decide what testimony you believe. You may believe all, part, or none of any witness's testimony. There are many factors which you may consider in deciding what testimony to believe. For example, whether the testimony is reasonable and consistent with other evidence you believe, whether a witness has made inconsistent statements, the witness's appearance, conduct, age, intelligence, memory, and knowledge of the facts, and the witness's interest in the trial, their motive, candor, bias, and prejudice. And you've gotten to know the defendants very well through your book, in your reading experience. So you may use all of that to determine what is the real truth. And remember that Perry said 3 different things about who it was that killed, who actually shot the gun. What do you believe from all that you know about him now? Number 12, in considering the evidence, you may make deductions and reach conclusions which reason and common sense lead you to make. You should not be concerned about whether the evidence is direct or circumstantial. Instruction 13, the state must prove all of the following elements of murder in the first degree. And remember back to what Officer Simmons said about a couple of his cases where someone had intent even if they didn't they didn't actually pull the trigger. On or about the 15th day of November 1959, the defendants entered the home of Herbert and Bonnie Clutter with the intent of robbing the victims of cash in a preserved safe and leaving no witnesses. However, with the absence of such safe, resorted to killing the 4 victims in the home. The killing of the 4 victims was carried out with specific intent. If the state has proved all of the elements, the defendants are guilty of murder in the first degree. If the state has failed to prove any of the elements, the defendants are not guilty of that charge. And concerning the intent, specific intent means not only being aware of doing an act and doing it voluntarily, but in addition, doing it with specific purpose in mind. Number 15, during the trial, you have been allowed to take notes. You may take these notes with you to the jury room to use in your deliberation, and that's what you have before you, your prep sheets. Number 16, when you begin your deliberations, you should select a 4 men, or 4 women. So unlike our other Socratic discussions, you are going to choose someone to be that 4 men or 4 women. He or she shall see that your deliberations are carried on in an orderly manner, that the issues are fully and freely discussed, and that every juror is given an opportunity to express their views. In order to reach a verdict or return a verdict, each juror must agree to it. Your verdict must be unanimous. So this is where you're really going to have to use your discussion skills, because you're going to all have to totally agree in a unanimous vote on what you're going to choose as your verdict. It is your duty as jurors to consult with one another and reach an agreement. If you can do so without compromising your individual judgment, that's what you need to do. Each of you must decide the case for yourself, but do so only after an impartial consideration of the evidence with other jurors. During the deliberations, do not hesitate to re-examine your view and change your opinion if convinced it is wrong. But do not change your opinion as to the weight or effect of the evidence just because it is the opinion of other jurors, or for the mere purpose of returning a verdict, such as, well, let's get this over with. I'm going to change my mind just because I want to be done. Remember, you are the judges of facts. Your sole duty is to find the truth and do justice. And lastly, I'm giving you 2 verdict forms. You will use one verdict form for each defendant. And when you agree upon a verdict and the foreman or forewoman has signed the verdict form, please have every juror sign it and return it to the court attendant. Questions? Okay, so you may begin each jury choosing your foreman or forewoman.
Perry.
Yeah, I think one wants this person to do it.
Perry's free. Perry's free to go.
I said Perry has 25 years in prison,
That's what you said.
but no death penalty. Why?
I say he's got 10 years and then parole.
10 years. That's easy.
Yeah.
25 years, but he can get out early on good behavior.
Why?
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's nice.
What do you have to support that?
I have a question for you guys.
Prove
He
that.
did not
If
kill
you
four
if you were
people.
in that house with him when he killed 4 people, would you still call him a nice guy?
Yeah,
I'd
we're
kill
gonna
4
die at some
people.
point anyway.
I'd kill 4 people if it was illegal.
You're such a nice guy, Zach.
Did kill
Thank
them.
you.
I'm sure. Called me.
Well,
What
that's
is
true.
That's
true.
I think they should get double charged. Just take a very sentence.
Yeah.
But it'd be
Take berries.
I think they should get stoned.
I think
Like an old
I think if Perry wouldn't have been with Dick,
That was a real
if he never would have met Dick, I don't think Perry would have ever harmed anyone.
I agree with that. Well,
I don't know
He
if
stopped
one of
Dick
them ever
from
harmed anyone, but I don't think
So,
Raping
yeah.
people.
That's good.
I
Save
think he was
that.
just doing it to be able to get down to Mexico.
I thought he should.
Get
That's a
away.
good point, Colin.
He could get his treasure or whatever.
Waste of space and money.
I think they should stay in prison forever, so why should they get back out? No, just
Just
stay
life
in
in
prison.
prison.
Yeah.
in prison, no parole.
I feel like
No.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, what happened to them when they actually did get parole?
Hey, Gilligan.
Committed murder.
Prove it.
Dick, I think, would have committed more crimes, more murder. Perry, I don't think so.
I don't think Dick would ever commit
With
murder, but I
with
think
Perry's experiences in his childhood, I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have ever
Dick should
done
have
that again.
been medically examined after his crash because he's clearly messed up in the head. He put in the insane asylum. And then they would still be like the
Couldn't beat him today.
crack the case.
But it was also proven in the book that Dick was committing shoplifting and other crimes like that before the car crash.
Shoplifting isn't a mass murder.
Could turn into one. Could turn into one.
Colby, what do you think?
About
What do you think should Perry have? What do you think should Perry have?
I gotta say, I think you should have had the death penalty.
Why do you think that?
Killed a lot of people.
They
No
killed
reason,
him.
really.
They had a good reason. They won't give him safe.
There's no safe.
Like it was stated in the book.
Yeah, but what's worse,
Said that Perry, he didn't believe that Perry or Dick would have committed murder, but the two of them together made like a third personality, and they would have. So I don't think either of them should have the death penalty, but I think they should both have life in prison.
Life in prison, that just wastes our money. Then we gotta pay for him to be there. Let's just kill him. If we're gonna sentence him to life, might as well just kill him.
It's basically killing them. Not
They
worth
just gotta
spending
wait to die.
$40,000 a year trying to keep them alive in prison.
Pretty good statement there, Sam.
I would rather take the death penalty than life in prison. Life
Me
in prison
too.
is 10 times worse.
I won't be able to.
They'd have me on
choose
my
that,
side
though.
for 20%.
Should Floyd Wells be any should he have any blame in this?
Floyd Wells?
Every time you jump out of planes, that's parachute or something. Then he survived.
What else?
If he lands in the ocean,
Does he deserve more prison time?
Yeah.
he's just swimming in high school. So it's just,
Guys,
Because he,
what do you guys think? Floyd Wells, is he?
no, he didn't do anything.
Neither.
I barely even remember him. We let him get close.
Yeah,
Who cares?
he didn't kill him.
Yeah.
Yes, but he did tell them about the clutters, and he did tell them they did have a safe.
He didn't say.
He didn't say,
Come
you
on,
guys
you
should
gotta
go,
go take
Hey, go
him.
kill him.
you
Yeah.
guys should go kill him and bail me out. Go to Mexico.
That's true, but would you tell somebody that Dick was saying all this if he would have been talking to you?
If I'm in prison, I'm already there. Why would you not? Yeah. I'm already there for the rest of the time. Why would I help anybody?
Except for maybe inmate, like,
You should get like 5 years in prison.
Who? Is this one?
That one guy that
Told Lloyd to Floyd.
Yeah.
Oh, he's already in.
Yeah, then should stay there.
5
I think the real
anything out
question
of
is
it.
whether Floyd
Even though he helped him out.
intended for Dick to actually go rob him.
Maybe
If he had a
get
plan for him to go rob him in the first place, or was he just explaining the clubhouse for no apparent reason?
Like, yeah,
That's
we're-
basically what he did.
found it.
Surprise saw the future.
But would he have ever spoken about the clutters if Dick wouldn't have asked him about it?
He's the one who brought it up in the first place.
Next.
Yeah, I think he can go. He's good. Next.
Let's just kill him.
So are we thinking prison or death penalty for Dick and Perry?
I think
Yeah,
Dick
for
is
Dick.
death.
Yeah, for Dick
And
is
then
for Perry.
Yeah, I'll go 25.
I would say for Perry, a lifetime sentence, but chances of parole for good behavior and such and that.
They can be sentenced like this.
What do you two think?
I agree. I've
Yeah.
never seen the two show prison break.
I think it's
Yeah,
also-
sure about these.
With probation.
Yeah, what's the point of, if you get life in prison, then you get parole when you're like 80, why would you leave? Your life's already ruined, you have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even know
Not
outside
about
the
the
world.
show.
Oh, God. It would change so
You go
much.
outside, there's robots.
Yeah, he'd be Will Smith. And
Raise your hand if you want death penalty for Dick.
Alright, he's dead.
In the act.
He's dead.
Perry?
25.
25.
He's dead.
Sam, you're just gonna make this take
We can't agree
Cave
publicly.
in.
Did you actually do
Okay,
that
why
for
do
real?
you think Perry deserves death?
Because he killed 4 people.
That's your thing.
For what?
That's your thing.
Yeah, but he was under,
A lot of influence. And it's not.
But did he know the right from wrong at the time that he killed him?
I would say no.
So you would have killed him?
No, I wouldn't have killed them, no. Because I don't think Perry, see, because I could say no right away because my mental state is stable. I would be able to think correctly. Perry was.
In that situation.
So do you think Dick was under the right mental state?
Because
Because Dick could have easily stopped Harry.
I think, I think Dick is perfect. I think he was just made bad decisions in his
I agree.
life and had bad influences, which made him make choices.
I agree.
Messed up in the head.
Looks like it.
Car crash, knocked a couple screws loose.
So we're all in agreement except for this.
Yeah.
But
Let's move on.
So we can't move on.
majority rules.
Actually, if you're on a jury
You can't.
for first-degree murder, everyone has to be unanimous. So how do you
Sam, cave in.
rectify this?
I'll give you $10.
How do you
Not really,
counter-
I won't.
Sam's opinion?
How do you guys know that Perry just wasn't pretending? Like in the book when he's saying all that stuff, acting nice. How do you know that he wasn't pretending to act nice?
Yeah,
So-
he said
How
that
many
girl
times?
from
How many times did his dad or his parents abuse him? Not only him, but his siblings too.
Where are you going from that? Why would you say
You're wrong,
that?
Sam.
With the abuse, with his family abusing him, he had built such a wall that he wasn't able to trust anyone, and the people he did.
But locking him up for only 25 years, is that really going to change that? Just letting him have more time to think about it?
Not like we're ever gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, they'd be dead.
He said in 25 years in 10 would probably change a lot about a person.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's a lot of time just thinking.
They'd be socially dumb.
He's not gonna go out and kill someone again, get caught and
Exactly.
spend another 25. That's terrible.
Yeah. He's gonna get out there, step on that grass.
I agree with
He'll be
Colby.
happy.
He's gotta go down to Mexico to get his treasure.
His skin's gonna be vulnerable. He's been in prison his whole life. Can't go down to Mexico right away. He's gotta get his skin back in custom with the sun.
Yeah.
He's
Gotta go do
he's an
a
albino at this
GPO.
point.
That's true.
Taking into account
That's true.
everything that happened to him when he was a kid, like the things that happen to you in your childhood and what you're taught, and like by the time you're 10, that's what you know and that's what you believe. And he was abused and he didn't get an education, so how could he have possibly been in the right mind?
I agree with Nadia.
How? So wait, you're asking how was he in the right mind?
How could he have known right from wrong with his past experiences?
Especially living in isolation in Alaska with his father.
I agree.
This is so unfair.
Do you find it unfair or just difficult?
Unfair. They're all against me.
And switch over.
No, but it's not.
Maybe you should make the right choice, buddy.
It's about the life.
I'm just,
Maybe your mind's not right. You want to kill him. We're all saying he should live. You want to kill him.
Yeah.
If you can't come to a decision, then you can't come to a decision in Parliament.
I say we come back to it so we can talk
Yeah,
about some
let-
other stuff.
let me think about what I want to
So what do
say.
you want to
Yeah,
do?
think about it.
If you have a unanimous decision on one, then go ahead and articulate that on your verdict form.
Yeah.
Dick, he's gone.
And how?
Sword.
Stone, starved.
Yeah.
Starve.
Ooh,
Starve.
Okay, wait.
That's brutal.
I know what I want to
So,
say.
yeah, in agreement that Dick,
Nadia, wait. Before we move on,
Drown.
you're saying
Electric eels. Laser beam.
that Dick wasn't in the right mind, right?
Yeah.
But he
Wait.
just watched while Terry killed 4 people, right? How is that in the right mind? Would you consider that in the right mind?
I would come
Sam,
back
would,
to this.
sorry,
I wanna
Nadia,
talk
would
about
you
some other
personally just
Jesus.
stand there and
No,
watch
I
him
wouldn't.
kill 4 people? Exactly.
So right now, you guys are saying that technically, Dick isn't in the right mind when they were both doing that, right?
And remember,
So and that's one of your main reasons why you're
from
not
quoting
Perry.
in the book, Perry, before he even knew he slit Herb Clutter's throat, he was thinking about all the bad things that had happened to him in the past.
You wanted to leave.
And yeah, he wanted to leave. He even wanted to kill Dick
Well, why didn't he? Why didn't he just leave?
because emotionally he was too attached to him.
They went so far. They traveled how many miles? You're not just gonna be like, all right, we're here. All right, never mind. I bail.
Okay,
I'm
we
nervous.
can move on. Let me just think about that again.
so we agree that Richard Hitchcock is deserving of the
Yeah, he's gone.
So by hanging or
Stone.
Stone him.
Stone.
Stone him.
Isn't that like drugs?
Seriously, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously. We all said stone.
Stone.
Come on.
That's cruel and
Stone.
unusual punishment.
You just
Who
killed 4
cares?
people.
So it's
Yeah.
not legal.
Perry killed 4 people.
Dick killed 4 people.
They're the law. They can do what they want. They want to throw rocks at him. Well, who's gonna
How
arrest
are
them?
you supposed to argue?
Show me proof that Perry killed him.
Oh, Nadia, now you're the only one arguing.
Isn't it with the state you have to follow the state's death penalty rule? They have a specific.
Either he was killing people.
Okay, so you would have to specifically.
No.
So we would have to hang him because it's the Kansas state law that all who receive the death penalty will be
Yeah.
hanged.
Right?
That you, in a real life situation, I am allowing you to decide the punishment. the sentence.
Stone.
Stone, yeah.
Stone.
Seriously.
Stone.
Kill him.
Come on, Will.
Yeah, we're old school.
Stone.
Yeah.
We're old
Stone.
school.
You just sat there and watched.
Got raped a girl.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
almost raped a girl.
Think-
What if that was
think
your
about that.
wife?
Throw it.
What if that was your wife, Will?
Yeah.
He's gonna let him be hanged or stoned.
He's planning it for months ahead of time.
Nadia, what do you think on this?
Stone, so we can talk about some other stuff.
Think either lethal injection or.
They didn't have lethal injection.
They had rocks,
That's
a lot of them,
Okay, so we made,
And stoning is an option.
Gas chamber.
But we had stones way before lethal injection.
oh my
We
god.
were talking about it in another instance where they put weights around his ankles and put him on a triangle spike, split him right in half.
Or no, let's put their feet in cement blocks and throw them in a river so they sink to the bottom and drown.
Kind of like splitting him
So
around.
Unless he's a good
I'm
swimmer.
getting the impression that you do want him tortured.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
If that was my family, I'd throw a couple rocks at him.
How about stoning and
I
then
feel
my
hanging?
family?
I'd throw several large rocks.
I'm throwing my fist.
Come,
We get both the
serious.
best.
Stone.
Is stoning available? Is that possible?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
agree
it's
on
our
that?
choice.
We hit the law on that.
But do it logically.
Stone's
You got
logical.
no
So
power.
If we all agree, we can do stone.
Yep.
Well, if everyone agrees,
You guys
then that
agree?
would be a logical.
Have a parade, put them on the back of a trailer, everyone has stones and throw stones at it, and
Stones
then
are-
hang them.
Stones are free.
Yeah, until they
It's
get loose.
inexpensive. You just go pick up some rocks and you throw them. Lethal injection, you gotta pay for all of the equipment and
Would it be,
everything.
would it be logical? I really should be serious. So we're.
I'm being serious. Stone's done.
No, like, no.
If they killed your
It's
family
surprising
and they
me
got
that
tortured,
the person who did not pull the trigger.
You don't know
he didn't
that.
tell him the person either.
He could have pulled the trigger. He could have
Very
just,
confessed.
Yeah, he's a man.
he could have just backed him up though.
But he could have been,
Okay,
he,
so give him a.
well, it was proven in the book that he was trying to protect Dick, because he's just that nice of a guy.
He was a nice guy.
Oh, I know what you're talking.
But like the jury instructions say, you get to choose what you believe. Okay.
So,
Even though Perry confessed 3 different stories,
I
you
don't believe,
individually have to determine only which story you believe.
I don't believe Perry killed all 4.
neither do I.
He's never once said that he killed any.
I don't think he killed all 4.
Why would he say that he only killed a few instead of blamed it all on Dick?
Why not just let them both go free? That way we can get, just like watch them,
Okay, 2 minutes.
figure out.
All right, he's getting stoned. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stone.
Yeah.
All right. Close
So,
enough.
yes, okay, yes, honestly, Nadia, yes?
Yeah, he's getting stoned.
Okay, so,
Come on.
I should have been wrote down 10 minutes ago.
who next said no?
I'll put this up, but the next question is analyze the concept of justice in the case of murder. Is capital punishment acceptable?
Okay, let's go down the line. Do you think it's acceptable? Capital punishment.
Yes.
Okay,
There we go. Now we're moving.
And
Not for long. I can see it coming.
what happens to a community when bad things happen? Discuss.
They get together and help each other.
Some people are affected, some
Yeah.
keep going.
Yeah.
Some care, some don't.
Yeah.
People are gonna die.
It's too late to save anybody. They're already dead.
Piece them back together.
All right, well, we're good on that. Move on.
All right.
So it's Sam now to agree.
I see what you guys are saying. You guys are thinking in the future, while I'm thinking in the past. With Perry,
You gotta
I'm
forget
thinking
the
of what he did,
Passing the
and you guys are thinking what he's going to do.
past.
And that's why we have different perspectives. So if I think about the future, I don't think Perry's gonna ever commit a bad crime again. So 25 years is fine.
There we go. Order the court.
Through somewhere.
Give that
Try
10 out
to
of
cool
10.
down or something. There you go.
Got it. Sentence complete.
Yep, I'm done. Dude, I
Are we really doing?
don't know.
No.
What
Have to agree on Harry.
Good.
We just did.
25.
We just did 25.
You should have been
You didn't
I'm
listen?
sorry, it was filling out the form.
25.
Okay, I said they're thinking about the future. I'm thinking of the past. That's where the two different views come together. And then I said only 25 years to stay.
And now we're good on 25.
With or without parole?
With.
With?
Yeah.
Okay. Who cares?
Without.
I feel like he's gonna be a good guy in jail. I think he's gonna be like, all right, I messed up here clearly.
I agree.
With
Pictures of the
with,
other inmates' children.
with only
Yeah,
if they
dick.
have
Dick and little girls. Yeah.
Is little.
Toning, we're
No,
not
you're
right. To a unanimous decision on
We
both
did.
the 20s.
Yes.
Both.
And we got
So
ourselves.
that's
I do
not
believe
higher
that
than
is
everyone.
That is not peaceful. Oh, your chair being shocked there.
They all remember it.
Don't even.
That's for sure. They won't remember it. Dude, my family though, I'm doing way more than still.
Which is
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
which is
Have you ever
With
seen
parole.
that law-abiding citizen?
Is who's in?
Gerard Butler.
he has to sit on it, they
Definitely watch it.
Does it have bikers in it?
Yes.
But I don't know what you're talking about.
just think, like thinking in the
Getting this
future.
man gets killed.
If Pepe wasn't
Oh,
so obsessed.
It don't matter if she's right there or not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think another reason that he killed is just because he's a bad criminal. Like, you could have gotten away with it, but he took that long to plan it.
He's a
First of
liar.
all, why would you go back to the state and just kill 4 people?
Yeah, well,
There's a manhunt for you.
And he wrote, I mean, he wrote checks under his dad's name. He said he liked his parents.
They're in Mexico, though. They
We're actually
could have killed somebody there.
Technically,
I-
they like chicks.
I left my
Like
first
chicks.
dime back.
No, they were under because he put his name on them, which led the police to think that he was leaving the city.
I would have killed all those people. I would have had to kill him. Put the gun in his hands. So it looks like a murder suicide. And then I'm out.
ISIS.
Yeah, they fingerprint test.
Yeah, you're going now.
No. I also want to internet, just so that I got it.
Harry's case to
Play it safe.
with foundation. You personally,
Burn off the fingertips.
Yeah, acid. If you're gonna kill someone, you can't mess them up.
Yeah, I'm going all
You gotta
out.
make some sacrifices.
I'm not giving it any chance for me to go
I'll
crazy.
do it. No,
I'm bringing out my footprints, dude.
Going barefoot. Well, there's some type of weird monkey footprint. It has webbed toes. Little pieces of paper in between each of your toes, so it looks like web.
Looks like a platypus.
Yeah, Barry's here.
Very platypus.
parole or no?
Inside of a pen, because this is actually official.
Oh, dude, that's what I've heard all day.
It is. That's
Not
really controversial.
Yeah, sign both of them.
What do you mean?
They're both birds.
Right here, right here.
No, like another page.
I don't know where I signed.
6 years for
I didn't name on both pages.
so if you killed someone.
I don't
So I sign right here. Right here, right here.
If you got a life sentence, the jury will decide how long you have to live.
And then where I sign.
And most of the time,
Wait, right here, right
it's
here.
the judge. Yeah, technically it's the judge. In today's society, most of the time, if they get a lifetime sentence, they have to wait at least 10 years. It'd be long. 10, it could be way longer than 10. I think it was. I can't.
They killed your family or you did?
I can't remember. It could have been. I think it was anywhere from 15 to 30 years.
I don't know. With my family.
Yeah.
I'd hunt them down like Liam Neeson, yeah. But I do way worse to them.
Like a sword.
I like that part.
I'll play with my hands.
And take it.
Rip off their skin.
And take it. Barbaric. He's doing it himself. Tells him what he wants. Like, right, thanks.
You know how they want the thing to be wet
Yeah.
and not like. I need to put it in there
You know
dry.
what we do to some Muslims?
Light it.
You know what
Break
some
a window,
Muslims
put the
do to
glass in
us,
the mouth
Bill?
and tape it.
Oh my god.
We're just like, peel their skin off
I don't
while
see
they're
you
still
calling them
alive.
barbaric.
They probably die
I
in
feel
the
like
process,
I'd rather punch their throat in with brass knuckles or something. I saw that on
Collapse their windpipe.
but
Lawless. Have you ever seen Lawless? That's a good movie, Brad. You have Netflix?
I did watch it on my
Oh, Lawless. Do it.
He would,
Huh?
he's still guilty. Not yet.
Pretty good.
I haven't signed it yet. He's still guilty.
I thought it had to do.
No,
with
he's
the
still
merge.
guilty of murder, but the sentence is just shorter. If he's not guilty, he goes free.
She tried to pull a fast one on us, didn't you?
We said I
I don't know what
didn't
to
do
Well, you
anything.
can
Attaboy,
decide.
Sam.
Come on.
We were sending him to prison for not doing anything.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not doing that. Thing is, that happens. That would be terrible.
He's not even trying to let Perry go free.
He didn't do anything.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, he is.
They better hope they have
Yeah. You think he's not?
the entire time.
Instructions, I thought like it said, okay, never mind.
Is he still technically guilty of murder? Or would it be still technically put guilty of murder, but it would just be
Yeah.
lesser sentence?
Yeah.
So guilty.
Why?
We're good.
Well, to be innocent, it's
Yeah.
25 years in prison.
Yeah.
That would have been a little bit of
Jury
a
number
misprint.
one,
Yeah.
have you reached a verdict?
C.
Can you please read, man, for woman?
We, the jury, find Richard Eugene Hickok guilty of murder of the first degree on 4 counts and fix the sentence for this crime as follows. He deserves the death penalty by stoning because he convinced Perry to kill the Clutter family with premeditation.
Okay. Have you reached a verdict on Harry?
Yeah.
We, the jury, find Perry Edward Smith guilty of murder in the first degree on 4 counts and fix the sentence for his crime as follows. He will receive 25 years in prison with parole because he murdered the Clutter family while he wasn't in the right mind.
All right, jury number 2, have you reached a verdict? And for woman, please read.
The jury finds Richard Eugene Hickok guilty of murder in the first degree, 4 counts, and fix the sentence for this crime as follows. He will be forced to do manual labor until 1965, when he will be killed in the electric chair.
Manual labor and then?
Okay. We, the jury, find Perry Edward Smith guilty of murder in the first degree on 4 counts, and fix the sentence for this crime as follows. He will be forced to do manual labor until 1965, and he will be killed in the electric chair.
Same sentence. Okay. And I found it very interesting that there was a lot of torture involved in the sentencing drawn out, and that there was some struggle in defining the difference in the sentence for Perry, who admitted to killing, and Dick, who did not ever admit to actually pulling the trigger. Very interesting. What are your takeaways from this unit? Socratic discussion and everything.
Have a no-kill.
What about that?
You know what we could have done for Dick's sentence? You tie
The juror's job is tougher than you think.
Yeah,
small
so
cuts all over the
actually,
body. You put
if
sawdust
you did not, I mean,
and
you had a very short amount of time with which to come to a unanimous decision. And some of you, I kind of get the impression that you gave in versus compromising, meaning you just decided, remember that the instructions at the end said, do not change your mind just because other people's opinions are different than yours, or because you want to reach a verdict. So that, if you were really following that and did not agree with the other members, you would continue and continue and continue to deliberate. There have been juries that deliberate for weeks and then finally do get to some instances where they call it a hung jury, where they can't come to a decision. But you're right, it is difficult in that situation. What else did you have for takeaways from this unit? Reading, writing, speaking, thinking, crime solving.
Putting pieces of of the puzzle.
And that was good.
Yeah, you got Yeah.
What are we doing next?
All right. What I need you to do before tomorrow, none of you put anything on the independent learning project idea board from yesterday. So I want your ideas on what are you thinking, what questions you have on the independent learning project, which is what we're going to start next. I want you to learn whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to do a little research on, want to do some writing about, reading about, writing about, and instructing about, because you will choose whatever you're interested in and research it, read about it, write about it, and then teach your classmates about it. And the reason that I'm doing this unit instead of my Harlem Renaissance unit, which I usually do, and it's one of my favorite units, I'm forfeiting that because I had a heck of a time engaging you guys in stuff, getting you to do stuff in here. And so I'm thinking, I want you to find something that you're interested in. So whatever it is, the questions that I have on the learning project assignment are just prompts for you to start thinking about, what do I want to learn about? What are things that are important to me? What do I find valuable to learn about? So read through that and really start thinking, what do I want to learn about? And then put those on your idea board. That's on yesterday's lesson plan. Questions?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Okay, so what I need from you before you leave, circle the skills that you used today successfully on your rubric, and leave your rubric on one desk and your prep sheet on another desk. So put your name on both. You can add that into your prep sheet. And you know what?